and I were both across the street last night for the Rockets-Lakers game, and we saw some things, people. We saw a young Lakers squad that actually seemed to believe in itself. We saw James Harden rack up 14 assists in the first half. What we did not see was the Rockets play any form of sound or competent defense. This isn't anything new, of course, except that for a month now, we've been hearing that things would be different, that the team was 100% committed to changing things. But when the chips were down, well, the Rockets were outscored 30-18 in the fourth quarter. It's frustrating because personally, I have been so excited for this promised Houston revival under Mike D'Antoni. And to see James Harden at the point, I mean, that's a recipe for fireworks, and I like fireworks. But I also like teams that win basketball games. And I never bought into the popular preseason theory that maybe the Rockets really could just rely on out-shooting everyone to win this year. The problem with that plan is that sometimes the shots don't fall. Like last night when Houston went 6 for 21 in the fourth quarter. Even worse was how tired the Rockets looked as the game wore on. You can't be the team that plans to run everyone outside of the gym and then start jogging at the three-quarter-mile mark. Now, after the game, D'Antoni said, quote, "Our guys will get into game shape. We've just got to be better defensively. They've been working hard at it, and I think we will." Chauncey, I guess my first question is, do you believe him? And also, look, James Harden did have 34 points, 17 assists. Is there any way to look at his official debut at the point as a success?
Well, they lost to a team that they should have beat, so it can't be that successful. However, like James Harden, he's a gifted passer. He's not a natural point guard,
right,
but he can really pass the ball. I said this even when he played in OKC. He was the best playmaker on the team. Really has a knack for it. However, you look at the game last night, at some point he's going to go back to what he does really, really well, and that's score the basketball. 0 assists in the fourth quarter. At 17, a career high. 0 in the fourth quarter. Game got tight, went back to his instincts. Tried to score the basketball, tried to get on the free throw line. That sometimes a point guard, a real point guard, is going to make the right play all game.
Really tried to get on the free throw line for that one play. That was was dogged.
Well, none of this noise even, Matt. Like point guard, let's just change the name of the position to dude who has the ball a lot. I don't care. He's always been this kind of player.
That's not going to fit in the box score.
Well,
You can't say that around a point guard. You cannot do that. You can't do that, Zach.
But what I'm saying is, none of this matters if they defend like that. If they defend like you know what, they're just never going to win a lot of games. And their defense. I talked to Mike D'Antoni in his office before the game last night. I said, look, the only thing I've heard about how you're going to be a good defensive team is, well, we hired Jeff Bedzalik. And he said, look, what is Jeff going to do? He's not a wizard. He's not a magician. Like, we're going to have a scheme, and we're going to try and get guys to stick to it. They just don't have a lot of good defensive players.
But, I mean, this was something your teams were known for. And yes, some of it was the skill of the defensive player. Some of it was that Tayshaun just had the longest arms in the world. But also it was the heart, right? It was the effort that you guys put into it the year you won the championship and all around those years.
And you're so right, Rach. Defense is all about effort, desire, will. You have to want to do that. It's a thankless job. They don't have players on their team. Trevor Ariza's a pretty good defender. Patrick Beverly, who can't play.
Get there this year? They say they want to get there.
No, they're not going to get there. They're not going to get there. They don't have a guy. I mean, James Harden. James Harden is the leader of this team.
Look who's on the team.
And he's really good, but he's not focused on a defensive end.
I do want to ask you guys, they got a rough schedule, and they've been talking about this. They're supposedly ready for it. 8 of their first 9 games are on the road, and you are asking players to buy into a kind of maybe effort or system that they're not quite prone to do. Do you think that there's going to be a little damage here of them losing faith even before they can get started just because they've got this tough beginning?
Well, the good thing about the way that they play, they get up and down. People are a lot more energetic on the offensive end. They're going to get the ball because James is going to deliver the basketball. That'll be fun. But if we're focusing on defense and you're playing teams in the first 2 weeks of the season when everybody thinks their team is pretty good, that can damage some of your confidence.
No, it's not fun. Losing is not fun.
Correct.
And so it actually reminds me, like last year, we were 3 games into the season, and it was like already clear that the Rockets had gone haywire. Like I don't think this group. I'm not sure this group can like sustain itself if there's tension early. We're gonna see. I think they're, like you said, road heavy all the way.
Yeah. Well, they had a happy preseason, so maybe that'll push them through. We don't know. All right. We do have to also talk about the Lakers side of this. And man, D'Angelo Russell scored 20. Looked like he was having himself a ball out there. Nick Young is a new man. Luke Walton's got Brandon Ingram happy about having to prove himself coming off the bench. And here's D'Angelo's quote about what all is going on over there. He said, it's not about one guy anymore. It's about sacrificing for the team. Kobe deserved every bit of attention he got in his last year. That's to make sure Kobe doesn't come put out a hit on him. But there is some freedom in Kobe not being around. Is D'Angelo a little too happy about Kobe not being around there?
I agree with him. I agree with him 100%. I mean, I even said it last year. I was going to defer my judgment on D'Angelo until Kobe was gone. Let's just think about it. He comes in the league, he's 19. It's Kobe's 20th season. He's been in the league since this kid was before he was born. So when he started falling in love with basketball, it was probably all about Kobe Bryant. Now you have the opportunity to play with this guy. When you play with him, what are you going to do? I'm just going to give it to him. I'm going to defer to him. So I don't know. I couldn't judge this guy last year. He's absolutely right. There's a lot more freedom now. It's not about the victory lap that Kobe was taking. It's not about one of the greatest players ever. We can all kind of be ourselves now.
You know who took the most shots per 36 minutes last season in the NBA? The most. Kobe Bryant. And
you're not shocking me.
I love Kobe.
That's not some hot takes,
I love Kobe. I love Kobe. But
Kobe Bryant takes a lot of shots.
36% from the field, and you're taking the
way.
most shots in the league. That's ridiculous. It's objectively ridiculous. And now it's like the Lakers can. Okay, let's be a team now. Let's see like what this team can be. And by the way, Russell was great last night. You know who looked awesome? Julius Randle. That was the best he's ever looked in the NBA.
And I mean, look, you know Kobe's line, right? Why would I pass the ball to someone I think can't shoot as well as I can?
You're shooting 36%. That's why.
I know, but
I don't blame him for taking all of those shots last year. I mean, these people are paying big money to come and see his last game. Try to give him the best show you can give him.
Okay.
I give him a pass last year. Just last year, I give him a pass.
And look, I think I hung out with Luke Walton last night a little bit before the game, and he's so loose. And it's funny, he's so different from his dad, right? I mean, Bill's this huge personality. Luke is so mellow, but he relates to the players so well. That's not a knock on Byron. I think Byron was, frankly, in really an untenable situation last year as a coach. But Luke has been able, on this team, with this squad this year, been able to encourage those guys in a way that I think is making a significant difference. Besides the Kobe factor, I think the Luke factor is there. All right, before we go to break, I do want to talk about what happened in Philadelphia last night. R&B singer Sevyn Streeter says the Sixers kept her from singing the national anthem because she was wearing a jersey that said, "We Matter." Here's what she posted on Twitter.
I'm at the 76ers game to sing the national anthem, and the organization is telling me that I can't because I'm wearing a We Matter jersey.
And here was the Sixers' response, quote, "The Philadelphia 76ers organization encourages meaningful actions to drive social change. We use our games to bring people together, to build trust, and to strengthen our communities." The implication, for those of you who misplaced your reading between the lines spectacles, is that Streeter wearing a We Matter shirt is somehow in itself divisive. The other implication is that wearing a shirt that promotes discussion and thought among millions of people is somehow not, quote, meaningful action. Look, I have no idea who at the Sixers made this call, and I think it's important to note this was not the NBA preventing Streeter from singing. It was one individual team, and it is that team's right to make that decision. It's their home game. It's their anthem performance. But man, it was a terrible decision, and they will be judged for it. How did we get to a point in this country where a black woman wanting to say that she matters just as much as anyone else is offensive to some people? And how did the Sixers get to the point where those are the people they want to side with? You know the expression, on the wrong side of history? I promise picking the side of those who want to warp something as basic as a person affirming their right to exist and be recognized into some kind of insult to our country or the military, that is the wrong side of history. Saying you're an advocate for social change, but only the photo op kind that doesn't ruffle the feathers of the most racist and sexist corners of society, that is the wrong side of history. One of the reasons I love the NBA so much is that this league has an incredible legacy of being so much better than that. The Sixers would do well to try to live up to that legacy instead of what we saw last night.
Take advantage of the youngster, Miles Turner. That's why they're going to Bogut. Got it, yep.
That's tracked down, and that's another Dallas turnover. Ellis lost it. Matthews picked it up.
Well, Matthews made a good play. He fooled Ellis, and then Dirk Nowitzki goes up and throws the ball away.
And this is not what the Mavericks really want to do this year.
That's just a helpful demonstration.
I'm not
for
going to sit
everybody.
here and let people disparage Dirk Nowitzki at age 38. I'm not going to let that happen.
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Okay,
Move on
there
to
we
the
go.
next segment.
First game jitters. First game jitters.
All right, man, did you see it? Let's talk about a good thing. Did you see Anthony Davis last night?
Wow.
5th player ever to drop at least 50 points on an opening night. And that wasn't a Kobe 50, people. That was 50 with 16 boards, 7 steals, 5 assists, 4 blocks. That is some nice company he is in with those numbers. But, guys, his team still lost 5-5 to the Nuggets. I mean, is this the future for AD, Zach? Is this going to be like this great unicorn transcendent talent stuck on this team?
Until Drew Holiday comes back from his personal situation, I mean, this is just reality. I mean, he's playing with guys that are, no disrespect, they're backups.
Right.
They're backups that are starting for the Pelicans.
Is one player going to change
And,
that?
well, it would help to have, like, he's the best shooter on the floor for them a lot of, and, like, it's just when he rolls to the hoop or has the ball in the post, there's nowhere for him to go. There's, like, 9 bodies everywhere.
I just feel bad for him, man. This guy is such a talent. I mean, everybody talks about he can't stay healthy. I mean, just think, some of these times that he's missed a lot of games, he may have been healthy at the end of that and just didn't come back to play.
Well, I mean,
because the team was so bad.
talk about the health thing, too. That's a little bit of my question here. You have a guy who is clearly special. He is on a franchise that, as of yet, has not been able to put the right talent and players around him, and also, frankly, has not been able to keep him healthy or the players around him healthy. And there have been articles about their medical staff, and are they really borrowing too much from the Saints because they share some medical staff from that organization? And, hey, football players and basketball players need different medical care.
That's a little different.
I mean, is he in an island in a place that maybe isn't the best place for him?
Well, we talked about the Rockets, how it already feels like last year for the Rockets. It feels like last year for the Pelicans, too. Like, half their team is hurt. They don't have enough guys. And, like, if you start in the NBA, like, 1-8, you're kind of done. Like, unless you're awesome, you're just not going to get back in the playoff race. And, you know, they really need Drew Holiday and just other starter-level NBA players.
Chauncey, were there franchises where you guys as players would know around the league, don't go there, they're not going to take care of you, or they're not going to put the team together? I'm not going to make you name names, but
Yeah,
there's
a few that you know, when you're looking around the free agents, you're saying, nah, never
Right.
mind. I want to be taken care of a little better than that.
Right.
But
and I'm not saying the Pelicans are that. I'm wondering
yeah,
whether
sure.
we're in that situation.
I don't know that
or
they
not.
are or not, but I mean, watching him play and play so well with guys that just can't get it done for him just reminds me really of a guy that you guys are very familiar with, and that's T-Mac.
Yeah.
Watching T-Mac play in Orlando and some of his prime days and the frustration that I seen him come up with, because there was no good way to guard him. I mean, he could score 40-something and get 15 assists and 8-9 rebounds anytime he wanted to. It's just, I hope he's not here just wasting his talent away for years in New Orleans when he just doesn't have a chance.
And anyone who knows me well knows that New Orleans is my favorite city in the country. So I would want nothing more than to have a successful NBA team. Selfishly, I'd like to go there a little bit more often. I hope that they can get the talent around him and get the health together, because he's so special, right?
Me too.
We want to see him be special.
He was already flexing his wrist last night.
That's what I saw. It got me very concerned. All right, let's talk Russell Westbrook. He played his first game of the post-Durant era. And as expected, he did a little bit of everything. A little dancing, 32 points, 12 rebounds, and a late-game takeover that led the Thunder to a 103-97 win at Philadelphia. Now, Sean, should Westbrook feel good about this victory, or are you just scraped by the 76ers and maybe not so much?
I think you feel good about any victory.
You're like,
I mean, you're talking to Westbrook, you know, it's not a shared team anymore. It's my team. And wins matter. It doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, you go to Philly. Last night, it was electric in there. Seeing Joel Embiid, I'm sure they had a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Seen a little crazy fan in the front who lost a lot of money in a short amount of time.
I'm glad that they threw that guy out, right?
They should have.
Because you have this guy. Yeah, there we go. That's lovely,
They should have thrown him out. And that was early in the first quarter.
Look at Russell's face.
I was going to say, that's the best thing he did all night was the face of that idiot, you know?
That was a bad investment for him. Going and paying all that money for those tickets and getting put out really quick. But Westbrook is going to be frustrated a lot this year. He takes on, he's got a lot on his plate this season. He's got a lot of new players. You looked at him last night, and some of those faces that he made when he was a little disgusted that it didn't go his way. You'll see a lot of this out of him. Now, you'll see him play great.
He makes great faces.
Yeah, you'll see him get a lot of
face
big numbers, a lot of triple-doubles. But you're going to see a lot of frustration out of him. Well, I want to see how patient he's going to be with these guys this year.
I think last night is like a good example of how they're going to have to. First of all, you're right. Any road win, I don't care where. Golden State needed a buzzer beater to win in Philly last year. A road win's a win. But they're going to have to win ugly this year. They don't have a lot of shooting around him. Oladipo was 4 of 16. That fit's going to take some time. they're like a battering ram. He's just going to have to batter the rim, and they're going to get a million offensive rebounds. It's not going to be pretty, but that's how they're going to have to win games. And I think they'll win a decent number.
If you had to give me the one way you think Russ's game is going to most change this year without Katie there, what would it be?
Maybe post up a little bit more. They did that down the stretch last night. It's an easy way to get him deep and to get easy passing lanes for him to see. But, that's he's still been doing that already.
Right. All right, well, we'll look for that. And meanwhile, on the Sixers side, you're right. They do finally have something to be happy about with Joel Embiid. I mean, man, long-awaited debut is an understatement. 20 points, 7 boards, 2 blocks. Remember, he was the 3rd pick in the 2014 draft. I mean, do you look at this, Zach, as like the process is paying off? Sam Hinkie cheering up at Stanford?
It's funny, like, the process is paying off, but Noel's hurt. Okafor is coming off the bench. Simmons is hurt. Michael Carter-Williams is gone. Like, it's this is the whole point, though. The process is if we can get 1 or 2 transcendent guys, everything else is noise. And, like, maybe Joel Embiid is a transcendent guy. I'm excited to watch him play. Can the dude pass once? He has no assists in preseason or regular games. 0 assists. Like, I might get an assist by accident if he threw me on the
Those are
floor.
Kobe points. That was the distinction I was trying to make earlier.
I'll tell you what, this kid's ceiling is unbelievable. They're not paying him to pass, first of all, Zach. They're paying him to get buckets.
Just one
They're paying him to block some shots. This guy's been sitting out for 2 years, living an NBA lifestyle.
true.
I wouldn't pass either.
Let him shoot the ball.
Look at the dream.
Oh
look
man,
at
look at
God.
the dream. I mean, the greatest of all time. For a center position that I've seen, this guy's the best I ever seen. I
you
see some
comparing?
similarities.
Are you already? The man
I
has
see
played
some
one
similar-
official basketball game.
But that's all I can go on, right?
Here's what I'm
That's all
saying.
I can go on.
Joe Klein didn't turn on his TV today and think, I'm going to get on a highlight with Hakeem Olajuwon. We got to do Joe Klein like that on ESPN?
I mean, look, it happens. You got to live with it for
That's
the
true.
rest of your life. I do love the way Joel is embracing the process nickname and showing that loyalty to Sam. I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's a good nickname. If Paul
Right?
Pierce can be the truth, why can't he be the process?
The Truth is the best nickname of his era. I'm sorry.
That's
I
right.
think
It's a good nickname.
Mr. Big Shot is a good one too, though.
That's pretty good.
But the truth is good.
You're repping for yours?
I mean, I'm just saying. You talking about good nicknames.
Especially, I will say that the only reason I would stunt for the Truth is the way that Shaq bestowed it and delivered it, which is when he said, Paul Pierce is the bleep, bleep truth.
I also like the
That was
answer.
pretty.
The answer
is
was
pretty
one of the
good.
best, too. That was big.
Your favorite nickname for an NBA player?
Right on the spot like that?
It's not that hard a question, Zach.
Let's go with the truth. The truth is really good.
Big
I
Ticket's
got
a good
nothing.
one, too.
Big
I don't like
Ticket's
big.
a good
I don't
one.
like big ticket.
You don't like the big
Not a
ticket?
fan.
Why?
Not a fan.
I like
It's a
that.
big ticket. What is it? I don't know.
He's the big ticket.
I
He's the one you want to
understand.
see.
He's
I
in the
understand the
minority. He's in the
meaning.
minority.
Stifle
Zach's used
Tower,
to that.
people like for Rudy Gobert. Stifle Tower, that's pretty good.
That's not bad. I still like Slim Reaper, even though we're
Stifle
not allowed
Tower,
to use it.
no bueno.
Oh,
No blame.
wow.
Okay, all right.
Boom. Coming up on the jump. Somebody got paid, and Vince Carter teaches the youth a thing or two. But first, I want to go to our distant replay. LeBron 7 years ago today.
And the theft, the first turnover by Cleveland. Here is Rondo.
Wow.
With the rejection.
That was 2009.
Well, Rondo.
He's doing that right now in 2016. The same thing.
Do you think he said that he's Benjamin Button? That he's Iggy?
Wonder if Rondo thought of this when Andre the Iggy block happened.
But you know what I give Rondo credit for? He tried to dunk that.
Well,